Hi guys, so today we are having a look at these palettes from I Heart Revolution. I don't think they have like a kind of collective name because I know they've got like their imitation chocolate bar. I think they're just calling them glitter palettes. So as you can see, they've got this amazing like snow dome loose floaty glitter on the packaging, which I love. There's 3 of these palettes. Unfortunately, I could only find 2. It wasn't even like there was a space for the third one and it was empty. There was literally just 2 in the Superdrug that I found these in. So they are £10 and they have 9 eyeshadows, which are 0.05 ounces or 1.5 grams. So the green one is called Starry Eyed. I think they missed out a trick by not putting the star glitters in this one. And then the pink one is called One True Love. And they didn't put the heart glitters in that one. And then the final one that I couldn't get is called Fortune Seeker? Fortune Seeker? Fortune Teller? Fortune Seeker. And it's lilac and it's got the stars in it. So they just didn't give anybody their kind of matching glitters. So the one that I couldn't get is like this on the inside. Lots of kind of plummy colours. And a couple of neutral browns in the corner. So the One True Love, the pink palette that I think should have had the heart glitters in it, is a very plum cherry based palette. So I'm going to swatch these actually kind of towards the end of the day because there's quite a lot of glitter in them and I don't want to be running around all day putting glitter on everything. And then we've got the Starry Eyed palette, which is, you know, I keep going to say it's very green based, but actually it's very brown based. It's only got 3 greeny colours in it and a purple. Because, you know, these are all brown neutral. So, yeah. So, like I said, they're £10 each. So they're very affordable, really cute packaging. I am wearing a bit of this today. I've got an application section, so let's see how this gets on. I was just sitting staring at these palettes trying to work out what to do and then thought I should be including this as part of my kind of application section because it's relevant to how good they are as a product. So what I'm realising is these aren't really cohesive palettes in the sense of there's not really an obvious full look in either of them, or even really between the 2 that I have. So as you can see, we've got lots and lots of shimmer going on. We've not got a lot of matte. We've got slightly more matte in the pinky toned one than in the green toned one, where we have 1. And the purple's slightly more matte than the other shades, but it's not matte. And yeah, so the only really dark matte shade we have is brown, which I don't really like working with. So this is going to be an interesting look, and we're definitely going to jump between the 2 palettes. But that definitely gives it a mark down going straight away going in. So I'm going to take this third shade in the One True Love palette and just use that as my brow bone colour. Because the one in the green palette, the Starry Eyed palette, sorry, looks a little bit yellow. But, so feeling nice and smooth. But you can definitely see a little bit of that pink in that tone. Let's zoom this in. So you can see less of my bad skin. Because it's been awful the last couple of weeks. Absolutely horrendous. Okay, so I'm looking for a light shade to use on my lid. Because that's the other thing, like, the only light shades in this palette really are the 3 down the middle. And this one's definitely more of a highlight shade, I would say. And I'm not into gold. And then the bottom one's too light. Just too light altogether. And then, yeah, I don't think I want to go all over with this pink. Again, that's a highlight. That one's quite nice. Hang on. Right, let's go with the lighter one, this one. Let's go with this one. I've never had so much indecision, I think, when I've picked up a palette, let alone having two palettes and still being like, what can I use out of this for? Oh well. So these are definitely not going to be something that I see myself travelling with. I think that would just be a bit of a nightmare. And I don't like that shade now that it's on, but we will persevere. In fact, I want to mix in some of this purple. Just so these are incredibly metallic. So they're pretty like that. I don't know, maybe these would have done better as individual shadows where, you know, you could just pick up the individual metallic shade that you really like to add to kind of other more day-to-day palettes that you have. Right. Okay, so crease. I mean, I kind of know I'm going to end up with this purple as my kind of main crease colour, although that's a very blue based one and my eyes are now very pink based. But yeah, that's the way we're going because I'm not going brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a very fluffy brush, and I actually want to play with some of the greens as well. So I think I'm going to go in with this dark green in the corner, just quite lightly. I don't want to say it as a transition shade because it's clearly not a transition shade, but it's going to be taking up the same area of my eye, if I can get any of it to transfer to my brush. At all, please. Hello. No. I mean, this is what happens if I swatch on my finger. But it's also now getting a bit of a film over it. Can you see that? Okay. Yeah, it's a very wet formula. I've just went and scraped it with my nail, and you can kind of see it was like clumping together. It's a really strange formula. Okay. I mean, after beating it up like that, I'm getting something approaching transfer of colour. But it's not an impressive one. Right, that's just rubbish. Okay, going into Spectrum B04, which is like a angled crease brush, and we're going into that purple shade, which is coming onto my brush very blue, like almost entirely blue. This is so confusing. I mean, I'm out of practice because I've not done videos in a while, and now this one is just going absolutely hellishly wrong. God no. That I want some matte colours. I mean, it's a pretty-ish cornflower colour. Guys, I can't do this as a look. I am gonna take this off and redo my eyeshadow and just use something out of this as a lid colour, because this is doing absolutely nothing for me. So, and I do have stuff to do today. So I will be back in a minute to start again. I'm back. So I used the same brow bone colour out of the One True Love palette, and then I just went into the H&M Starstruck for doing my crease. And now we're going to pick one of the metallic shades out of the Starry Eyed palette to be my kind of all over lid colour to fill in the rest of this. Now, I think I might want to go for this top corner one. And I'm really hoping it doesn't go like the last one that we tried. So, please, right. It's got the patch already. So it seems that these are like an incredibly wet formula that maybe just don't like brushes because, you know, this is the amount that's transferred and that's how much we've messed up the eyeshadow already. So let's go in with a finger. Okay, so it's a formula that you have to use with your finger. Which then I guess makes more sense that it's not an entire eye look in one palette because you can't really do your crease with your fingers really. It's okay for pressing like metallics onto the lid. Great fun trying to get your inner corner without like splattering it up the inside of your nose. I will give it this colour is really pretty. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. But I just think it's not like, you know, I just think it's weird that they've put in such a wide colour selection and it's not a full look. So, you know, the matte brow bone shade, yeah, it let you use that with a brush. That was pretty much it. So the more matte the colours are, the more brush friendly they are. But when you get into the metallics and the shimmers, it looks like you're having to use your finger. So, quick timestamp just for just now. It's 11:26. We'll see how this lid shade holds up. I'm just going to go and finish the rest of my makeup. Right, I'm back, and I think I want to try and do a little inner corner highlight as well, just so that there's something more being tested out of these palettes. So I'm going to go to the top middle shade in the Starry Eyed palette and hope that my nails are short enough to actually let me do this. Okay, yeah, so that's good. So, right, I'm going to be wearing this the rest of the day. I feel like I went a little bit thick with the eyeshadow on this eye. As you can see, it's looking like a completely different texture to the other side. And it is at least transferring off onto my finger. But I don't know how much I'm going to be able to rectify that. I'll leave it the way it is. And I guess we'll see how the two sides wear then. So this is my finished look for today and I'll be back. Oh, and if you want the time from just now, it's 11:51. Just because, you know, 11:52. Right, see you guys in a bit. Right, so I'm back. It is 10:25. So I have had this eyeshadow on for about 11 hours. So let's zoom in. So the colour is still nice and vibrant. It still looks very shiny and metallic. And it's pretty crease free, and that's on both eyes, even the one where it was a little bit thicker. The inner corner highlight has faded a little bit, but it's still definitely there. And I will say I had a little bit of an itch earlier, so that might be partially my fault that it's toned down a little bit. Brow bone colour is still looking very nice and even. Right, so I think before I do my final thoughts, we're going to do the swatches, and I'm going to start with the Starry Eyed palette. Now, swatches are a bit of a debated topic right now on YouTube, but I will definitely be doing finger swatches since, well, we saw how these worked with a brush for certain shades, so there would be no point. So I'm going to start at the top and go left to right. So we've got this guy, which, well, we know how that looks. Beautiful, feels nice and creamy. And then the middle one is the one I've got as my inner corner highlight. So again, we know how that looks. Very nice, bright white silver. Then we have this strange purple that goes on blue. I mean, like, that's crazy. That's so completely not the colour that's in the pan. I've never seen that much of a colour difference between the pan and the application. So then moving on to the next row, we've got this bronzy colour. Comes off a little bit more coppery than I expected. And then we've got a pale gold in the middle. That's really nice and metallic. And then we've got more of a warm coppery tone, which is, in the pan, looks like that one. And is just a lot of a deeper coppery. So those are really nice. I know loads of people that like neutral looks are probably going to love those three shades as a lid shade around the holidays. And then going into the bottom row, see, I don't think that's significantly different enough from this one to really need both in the same palette. Then we've got the pale matte colours. This isn't really going to show up too much on my arm. And last but not least, that green that we tried to use on a brush, which was a disaster, but is very pretty. In fact, I would almost say you could get rid of this one because I think these two mixed together are pretty much going to give you that. But anyway, that is all the shades from the Starry Eyed palette. I would definitely say this purple is, I would say, the purest pigment-wise. But the rest are all definitely metallic, apart from this matte, almost highlight shade, which, to be honest, seems a little bit out of place in that palette. So next, moving on to the One True Love palette, and we're just going to move on to my other arm. So I haven't really touched this at all. No, I used 3 out of this one, tried. So let's start with this guy. Almost looks like it's got an interesting reflect, but let's see. So slightly less orange than the one in the Starry Eyed palette. And then we've got this kind of dusky mauvey pink in the middle. I was expecting that to come across a little bit darker. Then we have the matte that I used as a brow bone shade. So again, that's not really going to show up on my arm. My arm's paler than my face. And then moving on to the middle row, we've got this kind of champagne-y gold to begin with. I feel silly leaving room for that swatch, but anyway. So yeah, so that's a very fair gold. And then we've got this deeper berry tone. It's quite nice. It looks maybe a tiny bit patchy, and that was putting it on with my finger. I don't think that would work well being blended out with a brush. And then that shade we tried as the first lid colour. Which would be nice as a kind of day-to-day lid shade, I think. Maybe like a matte plum in the crease. And then moving on to the bottom row, we've got this other shimmery purple. looks quite pretty actually. I would maybe find myself playing with that one again, using my fingers rather than a brush. And then this matte pink, which almost looks more of a blush shade than an eyeshadow shade. Yeah. And then this matte brown, which I guess you could actually almost use as a contour. Contour? Yeah, that's the word. Why did that sound weird when I said it? Although, it's maybe got a little bit of a reddy purple base that you wouldn't quite want for that. But yeah, overall, what am I going to say? Are these affordable? Yes. Has this lasted really well all day and not creased? Yes. Am I going to recommend these as palettes? No. I almost kind of wish that just all these, like, you know, the good metallic shades were just in a palette together, and the kind of weirder shades were not there. You know, so definitely, like, you know, scrap this purple and scrap that matte highlight. Scrap that matte highlight and scrap these two mattes. And, you know, maybe don't need all of them in together because they're not that vastly different. But yeah, I think this is... Yeah, I think if you got rid of those shades and just had all the metallics in together, I would almost be more inclined to recommend this, because that would then remind me more of something like the Urban Decay Moondust palette, where it's not like, you know, a palette in the sense of, oh, you can sit from start to finish and do your makeup. It's more of a finishing and effects, a topper. But I really didn't feel that that's what these were kind of like aimed at, especially with the kind of matte brow bone highlight shades being in there. And that to me just makes it a little bit weird. So yeah, overall, not recommending these. I think there's better things out there. I think these are going to take up quite a lot of room considering how much you're really going to use them, because obviously when you're looking at the thickness of it, this is the bit that's actually needed for the makeup. This is all kind of extra. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Not recommending them. I don't quite want to say they're completely goodbyes because I am enjoying this today. But if you've got any questions about either of these, leave those down below and I will get back to you. In the meantime, I'm going to sit here and shake the glitter about and just, you know, enjoy that. So I will catch you guys later. I hope you had an awesome, awesome weekend. And it's December now, it's Advent calendar month, so that's always fun. So, bye guys.